All right, welcome. Today, we're going to dig into a really big idea, one that might totally change how you think about where you get your work done. We're talking about a shift, moving away from feeling like a guest in someone else's space and really making your workspace your own. And this whole movement is being pushed forward by a company called Wocal. Okay, so let's start with the basics. First, there was the office. I mean, for a huge chunk of the last century, this was just reality, right? No questions asked. You had the daily commute, those lovely fluorescent lights, the super rigid 9 to 5. Work was a place, a destination you had to travel to every single day. And then everything changed. We got the remote work revolution. And wow, it offered so much freedom. But let's be real, we've all been there, haven't we? The dog starts going crazy right in the middle of a client call, or maybe after a few days at home, that feeling of isolation just starts creeping in. It turns out that all that freedom, it came with its own unique set of problems. So naturally, to fix the issues with both the office and working from home, this new idea popped up. The third workspace. This is the hybrid model everyone's been talking about, and on the surface, it really does seem like the perfect middle ground, doesn't it? The so-called hybrid dream. But here's the twist. What if that very idea, that perfect solution, is already holding you back? What if the words we're using to talk about this new freedom are actually boxing us in? Let's dig into that. Okay, so let's get into it. Before we can really tear down this idea of a third workspace, we got to be super clear on what everyone even means when they say that. So the way people frame it is actually pretty straightforward. Think of it like this. Your home is space number one. The old school corporate office, that's space number two. The third workspace is, well, it's everything else. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're talking about your favorite local coffee shop, the one with the good pastries, or that quiet corner in a hotel lobby, maybe even a pub that surprisingly has amazing Wi-Fi. It's basically anywhere you can get stuff done that isn't your house or the big corporate office. And come on, we've all got that mental checklist for what makes one of these spots actually work, right? The absolute number one non-negotiable: fast, reliable Wi-Fi. After that, you need a chair that won't destroy your back. Good coffee is a must, and just enough quiet so you can actually focus. That's kind of the common wisdom that guides our search for a good spot. Okay, so that's the idea we all pretty much get. But this is where things get interesting. The source material we're looking at today just throws a massive curveball. It basically argues that this entire way of thinking is just wrong. Yeah, you heard that right. The third workspace is already outdated. I mean, that is a bold statement. The very thing that feels like the future of work is already a thing of the past. That's a huge claim. So let's really unpack why they're saying this. So why would anyone say that? I mean, it seems totally counterintuitive, right? Let's get into the logic. What's actually so wrong with calling your favorite cafe your third space? Well, the whole argument is that the word third is the real problem here. Think about it. It automatically suggests a ranking, right? Like this place is your plan C. It frames you as just a temporary guest, kind of an outsider. And it means your professional needs are just an afterthought in a place that was really designed for something else entirely. Okay, so if third is the wrong way to think about it, then what's the alternative? Well, this is where the source we're looking at proposes a totally new way to frame it. Hello, the first workspace. And this comparison here just lays out the whole shift in thinking perfectly. On one side, with third workspace thinking, work is an afterthought and you're just a temporary guest. But with first workspace thinking, everything flips. Work actually fits around your life. You're part of a community. It goes from being a fallback option to being your primary, flexible office. It's a huge difference. So what's the goal here? The whole philosophy, at its core, is just this simple. Your workspace should work around your life, not the other way around. I mean, it's a complete flip of the traditional model we've all been used to. Now, that sounds amazing as a philosophy, but how does it actually work in the real world, right? So let's take a look at how this company, Wocal, is actually trying to build a whole ecosystem around this first workspace idea. So here's how their model breaks down. And it's so much more than just an app to find a free table. You've got on-demand booking, so you can reserve a spot and know it's going to be there for you. There's AI-powered networking to connect you with other pros working nearby. And get this, there's even a data feedback loop that helps the venues get better at hosting remote workers. It's a whole system. And just so you know, this isn't some tiny niche idea. The source we're looking at says that over 3,000 new venues are set to join this kind of network in just the next year. 3,000. That's a lot. It really shows there's some real momentum behind this whole shift in thinking. So let's step back for a second. What does this big shift from third to first really mean for you? For how we could all structure our days and even our careers going forward? Because ultimately, this whole vision, it's about so much more than just finding a place to plug in your laptop. It's about intentionally building a work life that's local, that's flexible, a life that actually prioritizes real human connection and a sense of community. Instead of, the isolation you can get at home or the total anonymity of just being in some random cafe. And this quote just nails it. No more ranking yourself third. It really captures the core of this whole idea. Stop treating the way you want to work as some third place, fallback option. Start building your life around it, making it your first priority. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. When you look at how you work right now, are you treating your own needs like an afterthought, or are you putting them first? Maybe it's time for all of us to stop searching for a third space and finally start defining our first one.